Coming up on Our World, a hazardous journey for a record number of migrants. We'll look at what's triggering this mass migration. Plus, it'll be the biggest bump up in social security in 4 decades. We'll tell you how much more money seniors can expect to see and when. And she was 8 years old when she starred in the first Halloween movie. Now she's back for the big finale. We'll talk with Carl Richards about her role in Halloween Ends. Welcome to Our World. I'm Stephen Walker. Thousands of migrants looking for a better life are making their way to the United States, and for many the journey begins thousands of miles away. So far this year, over 135,000 people have entered the border with Panama through Colombia. The Advocate Channel's Rafael Romeo takes a look at what's driving the migrants north.
In Panama, they're the target of an air and land military operation.
Capitán, ¿de dónde viene?
In Colombia, the country's Coast Guard is trying to intercept them in the ocean. And in Guatemala, national police in riot gear try to stop them, but they lack the numbers to do so. From South America to the United States, trying to stop yet another wave of migrants seems to be a losing battle for all the countries involved. It seems like more than ever, migrants are willing to face any risk and pay ever-increasing amounts of money to reach the United States. In Panama, the number of migrants who continue crossing the perilous Darien jungle is increasing. By the end of September, over 134,000 migrants had crossed the Colombian border into Panama, already surpassing last year's total of 133,000. This Marine Corps captain in Colombia says that smugglers used to charge $1,000 per person to cross from the Colombian San Andres and Providencia Islands to Central American countries like Nicaragua, an amount that he says has now increased to 4,000. The influx of migrants is not only increasing, the nationalities of those seeking to reach the United States have also changed in the last few years.
Cubanos, haitianos.
This Guatemalan immigration official says they routinely detain migrants from countries as close as Cuba and Haiti and as far as Senegal, but these days most seem to be Venezuelan nationals. This man in Caracas, who chose not to reveal his identity because he works for the government of Venezuela, says he's desperate to leave his country. He says his government job pays about $5 a week, which forces him to hold 2 other jobs to make ends meet. He says he's decided to leave. The question is how to get safely to the United States with no visa for any Central American country or his final destination. Cousins Mario Mosquera and Jefferson Lozada, also from Venezuela, have already made it as far as Guatemala. Venezuela is unlivable, the father of 3 says. The economic crisis has been very hard, and the truth is that I'm making this sacrifice to give my children a better life. As the United States approaches midterm elections, immigration has once again become...
This crisis is a direct result, let's be very clear, a direct result of President Biden's unilateral actions.
A political hot potato, with Republican governors from Texas and Florida busing immigrants to places like New York and Washington, D.C.
What we have here just is sort of a perfect storm. New York shelter systems were overcrowded and overwhelmed before any of these migrants arrived. Meanwhile, at the border, we're seeing a similar situation with a different population of migrants where their resources are very strained.
Back in Guatemala, cousins Mario Mosquera and Jefferson Lozada press on. In Venezuela, minimum wage is not even enough to eat, they say, before leaving to join a group of other migrants with whom they share the same dream of reaching the United States, regardless of the risks involved.
Another number on the rise, the arrests along the US-Mexico border, with more than 2.3 million arrests taking place, topping the 1.7 million reported last year. India's Supreme Court has delivered a split decision on hijab ban in classrooms. The case stems from a petition filed by Muslim students denied entry to classrooms in multiple state-run schools and colleges. The matter has now been referred to the Chief Justice of India, with a larger bench expected to be formed. Social Security benefits are about to go up next year. That's because the annual cost of living adjustment. Recipients will see an 8.7% boost, which is the largest since 1981. For the 70 million people who depend on Social Security, that means a monthly payment will go up to around $146. Halloween is the most acclaimed and revered horror franchise in film history. The franchise launched in 1978, then relaunched in 2018, breaking box office records for horror films. This year, after 45 years, Halloween will reach its epic, terrifying conclusion in Halloween Ends. The Advocate Channel Rachel Smith spoke with Real Housewives star Carl Richards about what it's like to get back into the role after 4 decades.
Congratulations. I mean, it's probably hard to put into words what this 40-year plus journey has meant. I mean, you've really been there from literally the start to now the end. I mean, how surreal has this been?
It really is incredibly surreal. You know, obviously I never knew, and making this movie when I was 8 years old, that I'd be sitting here talking about this decades later and still playing my character Lindsay. So I feel really, honored to be a part of it from the beginning to the end.
I mean, how many of your family and friends are like, just give me a little sneak peek at the script? Like, how does it end? I mean, is everyone clamoring to find out what happens?
So many diehard fans ask me about it, and I said, I can't even tell my husband, They're like, do you live, do you die? I'm like, I couldn't even tell my husband, sorry guys.
I mean, honestly, we know Jamie Lee Curtis is, fierce and strong, funny even, but what is something that you've grown to learn about her over all these decades that you would love fans to know?
She's extremely compassionate, generous, thoughtful. She is a very selfless person, always putting others before herself. So that's what I would say, about Jamie Lee Curtis.
You wanted it on camera because your contract was coming up.
Woo!
Were you upset with Lisa for bringing it onto the show?
Look where we are. Look where we are right now.
I've got to ask you, watching the last couple of weeks, what is more terrifying, Michael Myers or some of your fellow housewives?
That's a hard one to answer, let me tell you. But right now, I'd probably choose maybe Michael. I don't know.
You're like, I'll take Michael in a dark alley any day, right?
I think I'm going to get Michael together with some of the housewives. How about that?
That's the
Lock
solution.
them in a room together. That's going to be my new tactic.
Yeah, they shouldn't mess with you. You've got him on speed dial, right?
Exactly.
Honestly, like, everyone's been watching the last few weeks. I mean, what would you want to say to fans out there who love this show but also love your other one? And it's like they love Kathy. Do you think she'll be back for the next season? I mean, hopefully you'll come back for the next season.
Nobody knows anything yet about the next season, but what I would say is that I love, Halloween fans are so passionate, and the Housewives fans are so passionate. And, I always get messages, tweets and Instagram saying, oh, we're having our, wine and watching the show tonight. Now all those people are going in groups and going to see Halloween, the movie. So I love the fan crossover, situations. It's been.
When you guys finished and you wrapped your last scene and everything was done, I mean, I've seen so many special moments you guys have posted, but was there any little ritual or thing you did when you said goodbye and you knew that this was done forever? It's like the end of an era.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis, when I was a little girl, on the last day of shooting, she picked me up and carried me, which felt like a very long way away to my dressing room where the trailer was parked. So she did that in the last movie when we wrapped, and I was like, Jamie, no, I'm too heavy, don't pick me up this last time. But, we always have that moment of hugging. It's always a little, tearful. I don't like endings. I do not like to say goodbye.
I love the female empowerment message of the films and how women can take care of themselves. So I know it's a horror film at the end of the day, but there's a lot of messages that are very empowering, I think, and relevant to today.
Absolutely. I love that. Like I said, I'm from a family of all women and a mom of 4 daughters. So for me to see these strong women who are survivors is very important to me.
Thank you for joining us for Our World. The Advocate channel is streaming now on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and Android TV. You can also download our app on your Android or Apple devices.